Hey, how about that yen? Anybody trading the yen? I decided to trade the yen when it went ballistic. So I went into the weekend short and I didn't take the trade off, so I had to re-enter higher, and it was insane. Look at the yen. Get a load of this thing. So this is when it crashed through the key level that it hasn't seen in like 20 years, 30 years. And the abyss is real. Look at this punch into this area. It's just out of control. It changes to a different color. So this dim gray box. Holy shit. So really the fatal moment was here. So here's Friday. Friday you could have scalped this for almost 50 pips here. And then it went ballistic. Went down the drain. And it went up the chimney. 150 pips straight up, just over 150. But here, count here to the round handle. It's pretty squirrely up here. It's pretty vicious. I don't know if you saw it. But so here's Friday's high. It blows it out, comes ripping back, and I think the scalp would be over for most people if they got even a piece of this thing. But in my system is to sell that whole thing. Well, I don't really have scripts that'll do that, so I had to hand place them, and I estimated we were going to go about 100 pips above. And actually this move here. So this was the big pause here, the big contention, the last known doji that everybody was kind of just waiting on for this resolution of this 4 1 hour bar. So this 4 hour zone here. And this is the US markets, and then it goes screaming into the close, and that's Friday. Coming back, and actually fell out of bed here. So Friday closed at screaming highs. Now I was a little concerned. Even if I was in 20K, I'd still be like, well, good luck with that trade. But actually it came back, and I didn't get out. So I said, well, looks like we're going to go retest above here. Sure enough. Yeah, we came up, and so as soon as you punched here, it's just like, I guess here's where the Bank of Japan or something comes in and supports their currency, supposedly. I think it's just that it's such an outlandish price at 160, since it just went up like only 400 fucking pips in like one day. one day coming out of here, right? So this is like the big breakout, and this would be the backlash before the zoom up. So I traded some of these because it just happened to be trade testing scripts and trying to get this deep, because I after this incident I decided to write a script with a 150 pip stop and a 200 pip stop to make 300, and I wrote a 300 to make 200 so I could trade this stuff, knowing that it was temporary. I still in total preparing for the next drama that could happen like that. I also wrote some really deep double clicks that would just come in 4 hours maybe, pretty deep. So I was able to get some of these trades off because no matter which direction you traded some of this shit, it did not matter. If your targets were to make 100 pips with a 100 pip stop, if you just waited for the market to calm down here, right? If you bought here with a stop here, You can make you can make 50, 100. And when this shit happens, so here's the end of the day, and or this is Wednesday's drama. But anything below here is such a easy buy that my systems would be able to do this. Because in the euro, if you get a move like this, it's pretty rare. So I have stuff that I know would run on the euro. And this is all just, these scripts are really like custom built for a certain event. And it depends when you drop them. So if they're going to last 12 hours, your exposure is going to be, if you keep dropping them and trying to fill up a zone thinking, well, I'll just maximize this, it's better to go to another script with a different stop and a different take profit, because you're just going to copy the same fuck up. What makes this system robust is that there is no fucking one trade that's going to make you money. So this is a basically if you had 64 Crayola crayons, supposedly you can pull off a better piece of art than 8. And that's really the idea, is that you don't have to know how to mix color. If you just you do have to decide whether you're going to trade at the market or on pending tickets. So it's either going to be set it, forget it for the next 8 hours or 10 minutes, or you have a robot do it for you. Or you're going to sit there and say, yeah, you know what? It's the end of the day. They're beating the shit out of the yen. I'm going to buy some. So at the end of the day, you figure, well, it's getting their close. The candle's going to be complete. And if I'm a candle trader, I'm only buying down candles in my system, because I'm going contrarian, counter trend. Even if, so I can already see it's going up, so I want to sell. If I see it's going down, I want to buy. So I was able to sell the yen. And last night I sold here, and I didn't sell very much. So I figured this was gonna peter out right here, and I was right about that. So, but now my target was like here. So I didn't let this thing melt down. You can see the obvious places. Every hour it rallies, sell, sell, sell. I mean, how hard is this system, right? Sell, 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 but maybe not. Maybe not sell here tonight, because maybe we just trap below here. We're going to come zooming back up. Now the breakout traders, they would have traded this, and their trading's over. I hope they had juicy targets out of this breakout. This is the biggest expansion I've ever seen. Now this could be just U.S. markets open, and here's somebody to take the other side of the trade. That's what it looks like to me. Here, there's nobody in this session. It comes ripping back to here by the time Europe opens. These are just incredible moves. I don't know if people understand. This here is so insane. I doubt people were like, yeah, I'm getting in here like 40 standard lots, and I got a target. Anything below here, I'll get out. Well, I could imagine anywhere below here, get in, right, for the other ride back. I guess I'm not this trader that does this trade, unfortunately. But I'm definitely the guy that's going to buy below here, all the way down. I'm going to buy a pant load here. I'm going to buy everything here and all the way down. Now, in the yen, that could be a real drawdown. But look how much money you made off of this ticket if you held it to here because you had a fucking 500 pip stop. Now, you would need a 700 pip stop on all these fucking tickets. And, of course, do the math to see, well, that's going to cut down how many tickets you buy. Of course. So, also, this system's based upon incremental entry an incremental exit. I really want to move my stop above here, but I know that when we get to here, like I'm talking about, if we ride this to here, I'm like, dude, every time we take out one of these things, there's sellers in here. So I need to be getting out of my 20 pip stops, my 50 pip stops, because if this is going to come back and do this bullshit before it gets here, why not ride that, right? If you have a system that can buy at the market, you're buying here, you're like, yeah, I fucking loaded the wagon below here because duh. Look at this 50 pip window of just like utter, and here it's even tighter, right? So here's an example of getting into a less than 100 pip window, fully loaded. Scalp something to here, ride the rest of this thing to, oh my God, I don't know. Just the round here is another 100 pips. It's 150 pips. It doesn't happen all the time in this currency, but when it does happen, these Japanese people are out of their fucking minds. They don't get, there's no liquidity. Like, people are like, yeah, whatever. It is so demolished, this currency, like nobody gives a fuck anymore. I guess that's the attitude, just I don't fucking care. Look at the abuse this currency's taken. Is anybody even talking about this? Now, I did watch Bloomberg talk about it. I was watching cable. Some direct TV somebody had. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh my God. This guy's like, yeah. We think the Bank of Japan came in here. Somebody had to come in there. Somebody had to get on top of this fucking rally. Look at beginning here. As soon as you took that out, it's complete madness. The madness was kind of ending here on this last rally. This is when I kind of got a grip a little bit. Get a grip on yourself. Actually, this is the most brilliant scalp in the world. If you look at this one, okay, you're selling above this. The eager sellers. Oh, well, I guess the obvious place to sell is here. The first burst, you're like, fuck that shit. I'm selling that. I'm selling that, and I'm selling that. And I'm selling that. And, of course, you would have to afford to go all the way to here. And look at this beautiful trap. It's going to break out. Oh, no, it's not. And then you would have scalped. If you, this is the break-even point right here. If you would have scalped to here. Beautiful trade. So as soon as you punch through, it comes back to the punch through point. And then, holy shit. I mean, now, the idea is to buy here in this vacuum. This is the sweet spot. Triangle forming, breakout. Now it's just, but see here, the breakout here is, if you don't cash out of something, you're actually underwater on that whole fucking trade. So if you put a buy stop here like a goober, instead of buying every pullback on the 1 hour, so you have to be very committed to being a bull. Every hour it pulls back, you have to fucking pull the trigger. This is if you're a trend trader. You're like, dude, it's going up. Okay, buy every fucking pullback on the 1 hour. This bullshit with, like, well, I'm waiting for a hammer. What the fuck, you retarded? Just put a line chart up, dude. Why people make it so hard? Well, because I'm a sophisticated person. Do I look like an idiot to you? Look at this pullback. Last pullback to buy before it just goes fucking nutsville. And then who's pulling the trigger up here? Well, I'll tell you what. I did go short as a motherfucker here because you know what? Nobody's going to fuck with me. So I wrote those big fucking juicy tickets right here. Right, actually, while this was happening. I hurry up and wrote these 300 pip stops, and I said, oh, really? And I just started pulling the trigger on one case, and it didn't take long to make everything back. And then some here all the way down. And then the exciting trade last night was, and this only, if you look at this wick here, on the 1 minute chart, it's just unbelievable. It looks like this shit here. So it's just unreal. This market's just nuts. The yen is just crazy. But it always has been, but lately it's been more crazy than normal. What'd you say? Of course, everything's on fire. I saw crude oil selling off. It's about time. Another fake rally. Gold's down, thank God. Now, the problem is, how long did it take for gold to drop? Because we wouldn't get our... we wouldn't make money on that trade necessarily because maybe it took too long to drop and our puts were too... expiration date was coming up, so now they're just not worth what they were. So what do you do there, huh? Looks like they're trapped under the floor. I'm going to buy some more. We're trapped down here in the no man's land where they don't allow people to go. Okay, so here's the rest of the market. I got the CAD. I built this 12-hour indicator. It tells you when 12 hours went by. It's just as simple as I could get. Look at this nice sell-off in crude oil. It's about time. What a fake rally. So they trapped it up there. We could see the breakout. So that trade's over, though. You know, this was the big pattern that we were looking at on the weekly here when we finally cleared the trees. Went for a little run. It's like, okay, here's the pullback. You know, down. I might as well just go to the line chart to get the full effect. So here you once again, if you're bullish on crude oil, you just buy. Every time it's down, you buy. It's just the best fucking signal. Just, you don't need more of an excuse than that. If you're a trend trader and it pulls back, this could even be 618 of this. If it's just one, this is the 6-8, right? And you're in this fucking trade. Buy, maybe buy. Don't buy these rallies. Buy. Here's your first burn point, right? Now, hopefully you took some profits into this hole that once we fill that hole, okay, it's done. Just like this one. Here's the hole. I'm assuming there's no wicks in there. But just to make sure, you test yourself. Turn on the candles, or turn on the bars. So, there's nothing there. This market will gap, though. This crude oil is kind of gappy. See this shit here? This is over the weekend. But see, we filled this, satisfied that void. Now, you know, maybe this is the next void to crush, right? We come down in here. It turns out Hamas and the Israelis start making matzah bread and shit and fucking each other again. It's like, that's really hot. That burqa's really hot. Honey, put the burqa on. You know, it's kind of ruined. You know, Hitler ruined that mustache, and now he's going to ruin that fucking burqa. I got my baby a leather burqa. Fits kind of tight. She looked like a sausage in it. I don't know if leather is acceptable. It's studded. It's got rhinestones on it. It's rhinestone burqa. Be a rhinestone burqa. Yeah, this is what we're after. Simplicity, man. The Gartley pattern. Are people serious with that shit? A good old-fashioned breakouts is the best way to live, son. See these little baby bars? You just fucking say, well, you know what's going up. I'm just be a turtle trader. Just go with it. You know, that's great until... But you got to wait for the quiet weeks, right? This is a very quiet week. Uh-oh, something's going to give down. But then it's short-lived. These are all... 80% is just garbage. It's just not going anywhere. It's like just not going anywhere. So very, very frustrating, very disappointing. But we get that. We've been here. But we just have to take a look at the 12-hour indicator. It's a nice way to kind of bracket off the market. Keep it... only a couple of decisions here if you're going to trade the vacuum. There's only two periods to worry about. There's the 15 with the 12. So here's a 15-minute chart, and you're like, okay, dude, let's trade like that. Now in this situation, you have to run a particular stop to survive this counter entries, these limit pending entries. You have to have a particular width. So we're gonna go with a 100 pips stop and everything to make 50. 100 to make 50 because we're so genius we know where to get in. And it's going to be like in this window, we're going to pick a 100 pip window. And this is like our entry. And that's every day. Okay, every day. So the expiration is going to be 24 hours. And we're going to drop tickets when the market is. So here's the beauty of limit entry, is that if the market's here and it closes up here, you can place your orders down here based on that low, on that slot. Slot trading, I guess you call it. I call it box trading because you trade in and out of this box. So the price goes below this. You get in, you take 50 pips off the table. You had limits sitting down there. This is it. This is how you trade it with this limit entry. This is set it and forget it trading. This is not rocket science. It's pip science. You got to know how many pips you want to risk. So your trade's not going to work out. If you've got a 100 pip stop and your target's going to be 100 pips, so this is your target, that might be kind of greedy. You may never hit your target all the way. That's why you got to take those first 25 pips. Even though you got a 50 pip stop to make 25, you can probably make your 25. And then you're out of that trade. So, unfortunately, you have to risk more than you're going to make. I'd say 20% of the time. Because you have to pay for your greedy tickets. And the ones that may never fill. But what's the current terrain? And at this point, this is before the drama. If you lived off of a 50 pip stop and a 25 pip stop to make 50, you got some good ratios in there, but does it really matter? It only matters if you start putting sell limits up here with bad ratios. This is where it crushed you. But are you really going to step in front of a 30-year high into the vacuum? It's so funny that fucking the guy, Star Trek guy, the chief analyst over at the McDonald guy at Trader's Way, he thinks, oh yeah, the abyss is just, well, dude, what did he say when the yen, what was Pike saying when the yen went up to here? I mean, fuck me with a wet spoon, but this is fucking 500 pips. It's just an incredible move into the vacuum, and then come ripping all the way back and actually below by 25 pips. Dude, this reminds me of when the 2016 euro-dollar during the election at night, it went like this. It was insane. You could not trade this. And here, look at this. So, I still can't get over this shit. Look at this 15-minute wick. This is 150 pips. Do people realize that? Now, for the guy that just has his pending sitting here, he's like, oh yeah, no, I made 25 pips off that. Dude, you could have made fucking 200. Well, he didn't know that. Who would know that? What's the answer? Put in all those tickets. Put in an outlandish ticket. But you still got to have those easy money bangers, because even after this thing went down here, it came to here, and it came back 100 pips. If you were long from here, and you're like, dude, we were up like, yeah, and then guess what? An hour later, you're down. You're like, holy shit. I don't know if anybody's held a position through a market like this, but you would notice if you were in a big position, you'd probably, if you looked at your account, you'd shit your pants. In fact, here you could be in some insane drawdown. And my buddy Beer Mug, he would get ripped on tequila, and he Beer Mug, we call him Beer Mug because he took a beer mug into the head one. He'd always get smashed in the bar. He'd always get cocky. He was only like 5'1", but when he got a buzz going, he thought he was like 6'8". So he was kind of tough sledding when you went out with him. It's never a dull moment. But he would get in these trades in a demo account. He'd say, man, I made so much money last night. I go, did you see how far? He just didn't even have stops in. And he probably just about blew up, just about got taken a margin call and got taken out of some of it. But he didn't get, he survived the whole night. And, here you go. He thinks he's a genius. But this is what happens to most people. They get the first time in there. And if the market's dead and they're making money, then what do you think of when the market gets hot? They're going to be, what the fuck just happened? I felt like the yen to me is the most really kind of it's like a completely unregulated market or something. It's just, there is no stability there. The euro dollar can get crazy, but there's so many people taking that trade that it's kind of like gold. Sure, gold went on a run, but the yen is just, I don't know how to describe it. Maybe because these people are too much sushi. Who knows? It could be something in the water. Who knows what's going on down there? Somebody ought to check into that. The candles do give me the current trade, though. I do need the candlesticks to know if we're going up or down. So we're going up. So coming up through the floor. So I'm using the candlesticks because they kind of pump. They should call them pump sticks because I look at it like, look at this thing just pumping through. And then here a shaved candle on the 5-minute chart. 25 after. Are we going to complete this and start engulfing? Start cutting back into the resistance. The support. Does this support become resistance that keep tanking, or is this the kind of the trap here? So I'm saying this is the trap. I want to buy down here. Then we'll ride it to here. And this is the wedge. People will be cashing out here. And we'll be cashing out of something. And my targets really can be 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 75 pips here. And you're doing that trade quite often in this yen. At the moment, it's so crazy. So I'm getting in here and trading it with really wide stops and deep pendings, very deep. So the deeper they are, the wider the stop, and the closer they are to the market, the tighter the stop. So shallow orders that are sitting down here for buys or sells above here, with short expiration, maybe 15 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, 4 hours. But then when you get into the 8-hour tickets, they're going to start selling 8 hours above here. Pendings will sit here, and then above here would be, of course, this giant vacuum shelf here is going to be, maybe tomorrow when the jobs report comes out, of the fucking non-farm dick rolls and what kind of bullshit news. It's so funny because the market makes no fucking sense. Oh, that was good news? Yeah, why is it tanking? Yeah, because, dude, like if you take out this low, it's going to be a while before it makes it back to the floor of this. It's going to have to go through all this pumping and dumping. And then finally, oh my God. So here we're trying to make it to here. We cash out. Maybe come with some buy limits here. And as it gets calmer and calmer, we have to adjust our tickets. If we want to trade the same size and be a consistent trader, you have to dial your tickets down to the market's volatility, implied volatility, whatever they call it. I heard a guy say that in Bloomberg, implied volatility. I guess they're talking about volatility. Definitely makes a difference. Look at this fucking daily chart on the yen. For the love of Pete, somebody should get a handle on this. But, this is not unusual. Look at this sell-off here. Anybody ride this one? Yeah, I was waiting for the end of the month on that. In the middle of July, out of nowhere. Of course, some people are probably short above this. Same scenario, but different time. Look at how fast this one. You're selling above this for 500 pips, but look how vicious. Like it's all over in one day. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. This is a slow grind. Sell, sell, sell. Finally, rut-row. And then this vacuum matters, right? This big triangle of shit in this trend line. And then, holy fuck me, this is brutal. 8 days down hard, but then big buyers in here, right? Big ass buyers in there. No shit. And then all the way back. Doesn't quite make it to the floor. That doesn't come till later, but this is what kills people. It kills me. Say I'm in this trade, and I'm kind of, I think I can see what's going on here. I want to fucking hold this trade. So I get in here, I actually load up on here really heavy. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be an amazing trade, dude. Just hold on to that. And it comes all the way back here, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. If you bought any pullback here, this is the daily chart. If you bought any pullback on the 4 hour, you're totally fucked. When it comes back there, you're like, dude, who's the guy buying more when it comes down here? The guy that didn't buy enough here is buying more on that way back. There's always somebody somewhere that has the perfect position in multiple tickets. The fallacy of these people talking about, like, is it a buy or a sell? Well, it's actually on a spectrum. I don't think it. Yeah, is it going to go up or down? Well, that's silly because that makes it sound like you're just going to put a hard stop on the whole position. It's going to be this size, and it's going to be this, and you can do that. But when are you going to pull the trigger on that? Or where's this order sitting? And what's the expiration? And how many of those are you going to do? Just one at a time? Oh, yeah, because I want to be right. So I'm going to buy, and then I'm going to sell. I'm going to buy and sell. And it just took a while to really realize that is the dumbest fucking way to look at a business is there a customer or isn't there a customer? No, sometimes there's a lot of customers and sometimes there's a little bit of customers. So I look at it like a business. That's what they say. Trading is a business. At least that's what they said in that book that I paid $150 for. Some Ross, I can't remember his name now. Joe Ross book. He had 3 books for $450. You could probably still buy it on eBay. But, it's the dumbest shit in the world. Just like that oil chart we just looked at. It's the dumbest shit in the world. Just simple bar chart. He didn't even have a fucking candlestick chart. Not a candlestick in place for this fucking Joe Ross selling books for $150 a fucking book. And the most racist books in the world, they were white books. Think about it, people. With white pages and just typed out. Like, dude, you do this in the home typewriter? Like, I can see the E's always crooked on every fucking page. It must be, or is that some kind of, it's before AI when we can make a keyboard that kind of acts like a real keyboard that kind of has a funky little problem with it. Yeah, where's the printers doing that? Where's AI on that one? Somebody's got to get on that one. It walks like a drunk. It types like a drunk. Hard, light touch, bent key. There's always a bent E. Where's that shit? I don't see that shit. They hype the fuck out of that. And then I'm watching the Bloomberg channel. The guy's like, yeah, tell us how many servers what's the server outlook? These people are crazy. It's like sci-fi. Well, we built them out into the future. Yeah. Well, we're just going to live on these servers. Okay. Yeah, that sounds really like, how organic. How natural. Didn't think about living total synthetic life. It's got to be easier than this, right? All right. So the Bitcoin disappointed everybody. Once again, feel the burn of Bitcoin. Oh yeah, well they're having that halving thing and stuff, and it's just going to be amazing. Well, you're only down 10 grand off the top. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for playing. 2 good sells here on the monthly. I hope you dumped your fucking Bitcoin here and here because you'd be up on that trade. You know, it's kind of a pattern with this thing. You see 2 hard months up in Bitcoin, get the fuck out. Hard month up, sell. Oh, gee, another sell signal. Sell. Here, now you get burned, right? If you sell here, you sell here. Because if you don't see this hole needs to be filled. And of course, Top Tick Tommy closes above Top Tick Tommy. Holy shit, sell everything you fucking own at 71. The euphoria is insane up here. Is that the dumbest shit signal? Even if you sold here, which I would recommending selling here, and of course, every fucking thing above that. I mean, you gotta be kidding. So now I got buy limits sitting all the way down here. Of course. Who's not buying down here now? Now maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe this is it. And then it's going to have to go to here. 618. 618. 618. And it's fractal, right? So your 618 gets smaller. There's no magic in 618. I get it. It's better than 50% off. It's 61% off. 62% off. It's better. The ultimate last known breakout. Huh? But now, you know what? It's going to take a lot of fucking gumption to take this high out and stay above it. Dude, you're dreaming. But that's what people do. Oh, it's going to 90. I can already see what were the predictions last month for Bitcoin? Dude, it's going to $100,000. Probably never in your lifetime now. Because it got there too fucking fast. It could have made it if it would have behaved and been like this. And then broke out. And then be like, oh fuck. Because then the vacuum's bigger. Right? So that's always like that. Yeah, I wish we would have waited. If the vacuum was this big, and this thing's walking up, and it pulls back and it dicks around, it creates even a bigger vacuum. When it does finally blow, it could stampede and just go absolutely fucking ballistic because the fuel here was this big. But the longer they extend it out, the bigger the short squeeze, I suppose, or the irrational exuberance to the upside. So same thing in gold. When gold took off, people were like, holy shit, we love you, gold. So that was the sell here. I'd be selling there, and I guess I have to wait for this month to be over, which it isn't. So I'd be holding 2 shorts and just waiting for it to start to cut into this vacuum. Come back to here. The buyers will come in at 2,000, 2,100, somewhere in here. Big ass buyers. Everybody's going to scalp out. The shorts are going to take profits here. This wick's kind of the drama moment, so I would cash out here too. But on the way down, as soon as you start taking that stuff out, you got to think about getting out of the trade. And I don't know if I would join the short train unless I went to the... So the only way to justify an entry on the smaller time frame is go to the smaller time frame and see if there's a rally to sell. Go to the 4-hour chart and sell every rally on the 4-hour chart if you think it's going down. So even if you sell here, sell, 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 and you hold that, and you're looking at a trend line like this, and you're like, yeah, you know, I just built this short position in here, and this blue line shows you where the actual stops are. So there's probably a wick in here making this look like that. And then you got to get the fuck out when it closes below here, right? It's just obvious. And now it becomes a small short game for people that have the tighter stops and the bigger positions. They can make money here, but usually it's going to be like, okay, we're waiting for this thing to either blow down lower so we can start buying gold. Like the easy trade is to buy down here. And the hard trade, I think, is to start selling. Well, just pick these shelves to do it in. So big orders sitting in here pending because the vacuum is obvious. Right, you can see the shelf, what do you want to call it? Right here. And then this is a huge deal, that price looking forward. So we're looking for, if the market came up here, the trade was like this. You sell into it, you cash out. Because that's the breakout point. So you're stuck with the market's volatility footprint that it leaves behind. And that's kind of what you're stuck with. If it's a dead market, then you got to have a really tight game. And then it's not going to work because the spread's going to eat up all your money. But look at some of these moves, man. Just incredible on this gold market. On the closing prices is a lot to learn there. It's really definitely the most revealing thing is closing prices only. One piece of data. Just give me the price, dude. Don't give me this fucking engulfing pattern shit. Don't give me a fucking doji even. Of course, here the doji is that small zigzags and triangles. Like here's the triangle. If you can't see that triangle, come back, retest the apex of that, just beautifully take off. It's a moving average too. It's going up. Okay, you're a bull. You go bullish. Buy every pullback you can. Here's a little top become a bottom before she takes off. That's a daily chart. And I'm really a big fan of buying anything that closes below here. Big buy here. And did it pay off? Well, you would have to buy below here again. And then finally. But now you're coming up to resistance. Anything below here I'm buying. Anything below here and definitely below here. And you got below there. And this is where you have to really load up. In the middle of this month here. Almost the last place. And it just starts to creep away. And then people are like, whoa. What happens when we take this out? Unfortunately, the blue line's not here. So you have to turn on turn on the bars to see the top of that now. To reveal the high. See, now that's high. It was hidden because we only had closing prices, but this, wow, what a selling window. So if you were selling everything above here and you still had pendings there, well, geez, I would have cashed it. This is a daily chart. As soon as it got below here, the buyers are coming in heavy. Right, so sellers here, sellers selling new highs. And I got buys sitting heavy below this low. They wouldn't get filled till the next month. The sellers, aggressive sellers, sell every new high. So this little vacuum here, you'd have to sell into that. And cash out here or maybe let it ride. Thinking, well, the next vacuum they're going to crush is this one. So let's set that up. So limits here, but now your target's got to be pretty tight. But here's a nice selling window here. Comes into this window, sell, sell, sell. Scalp to the top of that. Hold maybe for this. So you'd have to be in and out here. In a pretty tight game. And these kind of moves are just off limits. You can't play that game in here because if you put sell limits here, So you got sell limit sitting here. Here it makes sense, right? If you take this forward, you would have sold this whole thing and cashed out to the floor before it took off. And you'd sell this high here. Your counter, if you think this is the trend up, this is your counter trend moves, make pretty good money. Not when you sell here, right? When you sell above here, you're going to get crushed. And the only guys that are going to make money on this move are really the turtle traders, because they're going to buy every fucking new high. I'm just going up, I'm buying. Oh God, what a fucking idiot. Okay, keep going. And here they're like, well, I put a buy stop here, or I don't know what he's talking about. Put a buy stop here and I'm long. I mean, what's the problem? Why don't you just go with the flow, man? Because fuck these people. I'm not into it. Like, it's going up, I got sell limits here. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'd be selling every day, like, fuck that. And I'd be like, oh, really? But that's just me. You don't have to trade like that. It's going up here. I'm like, oh, fuck. This already said about gold. Like, these goobers are going to step in here and be, I bought right here. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. You're going to prove me wrong when it's up here. All right. You know what? How do you feel about this drawdown? Well, it's just how it is when you're trend trading. You have to, you know how it is. No, I don't. I just can't do it. Even if you're right 3 months from now, I'm like, well, how did you sit through that trade? Man, you fucking got patience of steel. So I have no patience. I'm not in denial either. I just don't. It's just like a thing that it's a real thing. I have no patience. Come on, give me some of that fucking yen already. Jesus, people. Fucking yen needs a little rehab here. So the yens took out the floor here. I bought this 25 pip window. We're trying to make 25 to 50 pips tonight. Just for a little bit. Here's a nice pin bar. And then I hear these people talk about pin bars. And I'm like, yeah, how do you trade that fucking pin bar? You got sell limits above here and buy limits below there. It'd be like, it's like bookends. Look at this fucking beautiful hammer. Actually opens down here. This has to be Monday morning. Opens down. You're up on the trade, and then rip your face off. Another rip your face off. You'd have to sell here and here, waiting for this exit, waiting for these prices to get out. You definitely know there's buyers below here, and these moves are just tremendous. 150 pips, just mind-boggling. Look at how small this is. And then, so just kind of breaking out and sneaking into this price, and then hope by Katie bar the door. It's over. Get the fuck out of the way. You're all gonna die. Just fascinating explosion there in the end. So I think we're over it. I just don't think that's gonna. The end of the month is over. It's a new month, and I think that matters. So the monthly charts. It looks like we could even come back all the way to the starting gate of, what is this down here? I don't even know. So this is 3 years. 3 years of prices. Some mind-boggling moves. The yen. The poor yen. It looks like gold's not done tanking. I don't know. Daily gold. Looks like gold could fall through the floor here. Let me take out this, come all the way back to this wick tip. Somewhere in here. So buyers should come in here around 2200. If crude oil keeps dropping, the daily crude on the candlesticks gives you a direction here. So you got to get crude oil to melt down into this Get down to 76 a barrel. Who knows, man? The news is so, everything is so distorted. There's no real, and even if the numbers are what they are, it's how people react to these numbers that makes a difference. The NASDAQ. That was my scalp window for the NASDAQ, selling above that. So that trade's over. You would have had to take profits on that one back to the breakout point. So you could have sold this first one. Great trade. Selling everything above this until your head explodes all the way back to the starting gate. Classic move. And then, big buyers below here. And they cash out when it comes back to here and now. Big buyers below here and big sellers above here. And finally, you can put those tickets in because the market's calmed down. So adjusting your stop to fit the volatility is the key to stay in a trade. So you're in the trade, but you're going to take a drawdown. So why would you want to do that? Because you don't want to keep fucking getting back in the market. You're just tired of re-entering a trade because you put too tight a stop in. So you just reduce the size of the tickets and then just put in a wider stop. Somebody mentioned swing trading it. So I like to scalp around the swing to pay for this swing because it may retest 3 times. I want to be able to range trade the 25 pip window to 50 pip window, but I also want to ride the gargantuan holy shit move, which is only happens 20% of the time. So having some dry powder for the days when we get a big gigantus move, and I think it's easier to see on the line chart. Wish we had the 1 period moving average on top of that. So I put a 1 period mover in because MetaTrader has the skinniest fucking line I've ever seen. So I put a white one in here. Make it kind of thick. Make it set it up for just 1. So it gives me a real hard look at it. Easy to see. Yeah, that weekly's a perfect setup for the sell. So the people that think this is a bottom becoming a top, and same thing here. This would have been your big buy before the rip your face off into the void, and then triple drive here. Probably divergence on the RSI, I'm sure. And then the nice big scalp. So you kind of have to build a range here before you could take off. But yeah, I would say this is a 20% move. You kind of rarely see this. This would be the classic, chop and then a little price pulse up. But these kind of the contour of this is like what I was saying about the other chart, is that the longer this window stacks up, and here, so in the Bitcoin, it's as if we just went like this. But see, when this extends out, this becomes a real big deal. It finally cuts through and takes out this high, and there's tremendous sellers into that floor. That last known closing floor has to be the most obvious turning point. This price right here is the pivot. The true pivot is the closing price, right? Because it can turn on a dime. The wick, it's not pivots in the wick. There's no such thing. It doesn't make sense, right? Because how can you pivot in something that's that tall? It's too wide to pivot. Should probably make that a different color. Too many blue lines here. So you can move this up and down. Here's your last known. No, it's not perfect. And that's why, it's really here's the pivot, right? This double top is pivoting off of that. It just is. I mean, if you believe this is the top, then you'd be, well, shit, it came down here. But like I said, if you're a bull, you're just buying every pullback. So you bought here, you would have bought here, you bought here, you bought here. And the only time you get hurt is you bought here and here and here. Now these three, but you have to keep buying, buy. And then you have to buy more than you ever bought here because it's a big pullback. And of course, maybe you should have waited for this void to fill, and then it all pays off. Now it's all choppy woppy. It's going to consolidate. It's a range trader's dream until it either plunges through here because they go, holy shit, man, I guess we got a problem with all that deficit spending, right? Well, electric cars aren't working out, and those windmills are kind of getting all fucked up and killing all the birdies, and we can't have that, because we may love to hug the trees, but we like to hug the birds too. People are so spoiled. They're like, yeah, if I could just have like the climate perfect and no birds die. Oh, let's just get some Dawn liquid and throw it out in the ocean. That should work. Thanks for the tip, man. I was going to kill myself, but I decided to go to college and just be a spoiled brat. How's my tuition going to be? Okay. I'll see you in the, what's it called? The quad. I'll see you in the quad there, Yeah, bring your torches. What you going to do tonight? Burn some fucking Jews. What do you think we're going to do? Come on, don't be stupid, man. What do we do every Friday night? I get the ovens out. Those swastikas on them. We keep it real here, man. We got ovens we stole from Germany. That's the ones we use. I looked it up one time. It's like the oven company's called Cone or something. Some Jew name. Cone. Con? No, it's like Koch or something. Yeah, so it's an efficient oven. That's what we use. We cook pips. No, we weren't doing anything bad. Just going to school and learning how to be completely confused. That's what it says about college kids. Brains a mush. Don't forget these are government schools, though. So finally, people woke up when they saw the government school in the Zoom call. They go, geez, government school is not so good. I went down to the government school once. One of my stepkids was having a problem. He was smashing stuff. And I had to go to the principal's office. And the principal's office, they were playing Bob Dylan, Everybody Must Get Stoned. Or they'll stone you when you're driving in your car. And I'm like, damn. I can't imagine why this kid's acting up with the fucking school playing on the PA system in the morning. That's what they're playing. I'm like, damn, I just can't put that together. So the Bitcoin is a real disappointment, I'm sure, for people that got excited here. And it is going to be a heartbreaker if it comes back to 4,300 or 50,000. People will be like, damn it, I was betrayed. I cannot trust that Bitcoin. I'm just going to go trade something else. I'll have to redo my system and call no nonsense and see if I just backtested it a little bit more. Yeah, that's a ticket. I don't think that's going to matter one fucking bit, honestly. I think it's about time frame. How long do you want to be in a trade? Because there's plenty of trades. Look at this is the 4-hour NASDAQ. There's plenty of up and down trades here. But it's a lot of work, man. On this, well, not so bad on the 4-hour chart because I got it all zoomed out here. It looks pretty treacherous, but this is like 10 weeks of data right here. 10 weeks looking back. And that works for me. Just give me that daily chart. Wow. Yeah, you just got to have a trade plan, but I'd have more than one, that's for sure. You don't want to just have one trade plan. You want to have more than one. Now this one, I'm going to let this cash out. It's coming up on my zipper zone. We start hitting these stops here. So my first target's right here. We're cashing out. And then we cash out all the way to here. And then I'm going to come underneath it with buy limits later tonight. But until then, I'm going to go watch a movie again. Another movie, another day.